Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. It's indeed a pleasure to see you all again. However, for today I'll be cooking ackee and corn pork with dumpling, green bananas, and the yellow yam. So stay tuned, I'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. Here I have 1 pound of pork in a container of water. Now I'm gonna allow this to soak for the next 2 hours or more based on the fact that it has a lot of salt in it. So I'm just soaking it before I go ahead and cook it. Next I'm going to light the stove and allow the water in the Dutch pot to come to a boil. Then I'll add the corn pork to it. The water has come to a boil, so next I'm going to add the corn pork to the boiling water and I'm going to allow it to boil until it's tender. Regardless of the fact that I did soak the pork in water, I did rinse it off first just to ensure that I try to get as much salt off the pork. So I did rinse it off, then I soak it in water for 2 hours and I'm boiling it now. The pork is now boiling. However, I'm going to allow it to boil until it's tender. If I wanted to speed up the process, I could have put it in my pressure cooker, but I decided that I wanted to put it in the Dutch pot and just allow it to boil until it's tender. Next, I'm going to add 2 cups of flour along with 1/4 cup of cornmeal to the bowl. I won't be adding any farmer salt to the flour and cornmeal. I'm just gonna go in and mix until both of them are combined together. The reason why I'm not adding any form of salt to the flour is because I'm gonna add the salt to the pot. Remember that I'm gonna cook the food, which is the dumpling and the yam, with the banana. So when I add the salt to the pot, it works out better. It would make sense to add salt to the flour, then you're gonna add salt to the pot. It doesn't make any form of sense. I'm just gonna add some salt to the pot, and that's good enough. Here I have a cup of water that I'm gonna use to mix with my flour, and I'm using my wooden spoon. The reason why I'm using my wooden spoon is to mix it, just to avoid too much mess to my hand. So I'm using my wooden spoon first to mix it, and when it's mixed to a certain point, I'll just go in with my hands and finish it. Hope you guys are taking note that when I mix my flour, I just use a little water, then I knead, then I come in again with a little more water, then I knead, because then you want to make sure that you don't spoil the flour. So you just add a little, then you mix, or should I say you knead, then you add some more, then you knead, right? It avoids you from spoiling the flour. The flour is almost finished kneading. I'm just trying to ensure that everything comes by thoroughly. I don't want to have any form of dry flour within the middle of it. So as you can see, as I'm doing, I flip and I knead and I flip and I knead and I open the middle and turn it, then flip it, then knead it, just trying to ensure that it's properly done. I'm finished kneading the flour, so I'm going to set it aside for 5 minutes until the pot has come to a boil before I make my dumplings and add it to it. Next, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt to the pot of boiling water. It's time to begin making my dumplings and add it to the pot. Everyone makes dumpling different. This is how I make mine and it turns out pretty well. Next I'm gonna go in with my wooden spoon and just stir just to ease anything from sticking to the bottom of the pot. Here I have approximately 1 pound of yam that I'm slicing up. I'm gonna peel and drop them in the pot. Here I have half dozen green bananas. I'm gonna peel and add them to the pot. Guys, just a reminder that you can apply cooking oil to your hands just to avoid the banana from staining up your hands, or you can wear a pair of rubber gloves As for me, I did apply cooking oil before I started peeling green bananas. I'm finished peeling the green bananas, so next I'm going to add it to the pot of boiling water along with the dumpling and yam. Guys, I'm going to allow the food to cook while I go by the front and check if there's an ackee on the tray, because that's a must. Well, I'm outside checking on the tray, and as far as I can see, I see approximately 8 pads of ackee so far, but I'm trying to see if I can get a dozen, at least a dozen. Yeah, because I don't really need a lot of ackee to cook with the canned pork. Guys, I eventually got 1 dozen and 2. Now check out these fresh lovely ackees that I pick. I'm just gonna pick these and then rest them aside until I'm ready to cook them. Guys, bear with me while I pick these ackee because it's taking some time. I'm cleaning approximately 1 dozen and 2, so it takes time to really clean them out. So bear with me. The pork is finished cooked and I place it to cool, so I'm just gonna slice them up now. Now I won't be cutting them big. I'm gonna be cutting them small. Remember, I'm actually cooking ackee and canned pork, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut them up in a reasonable size. Furthermore, I'm gonna fry them. So I'm not cutting them too big or too small. Based on the fact I'm gonna fry them. Here's a result after cutting up the pork. They are not too big, not too small, just the right size. So, you know, when I'm gonna fry these, they won't shrink too much because the cuts are not too small. Next, I'm going to light the stove and allow the skillet to preheat Next, I'm gonna add some oil to the skillet. I won't be adding too much. Remember that the pork itself carries fat, so you don't want to add too much oil. The skillet is fully heated, so I'm just gonna go in with my pork. I'm gonna put them in piece by piece just to avoid any oil splashing. And then I'll be adding the balance in a few. After adding all the pork slices to the skillet, I'm going to use my fork and just stir, just to avoid anything from sticking, and just space them out so that they can fry properly. Now guys, I won't be allowing my pork to fry too dry or crispy as they say. I want my pork to have a little moist to it, so I want it to have some juice. I'm not going to fry it too dry. Okay, so you just want to make sure that when you're frying the pork, you keep the flame on medium, right? So that means the pork won't burn before they're fried, right? You want to ensure that you keep an eye just to ensure that it's not burned, okay? Because there are times when you may get caught up doing something else and forget that you have the pork on the fire. So just keep an eye on it and keep it on medium heat. That way it won't be burned. I'm gonna cover the skillet and allow the pork to brown. But guys, you see, if you don't cover the skillet with the cover, it is gonna pop. And when I say pop, you're gonna hear pop sound, and that's oil splashing from the pork. It will splash and burn you, splash on your clothes, splash on the floor. It should be splashing all over. So you wanna ensure that you use a cover to cover the skillet or the Dutch pot whenever you're frying the pork. Just turning this pork. They're almost complete, but there are a few more pieces here that needs to turn and fry properly. After turning the pork, I'm gonna go ahead and cover back the skillet and let it complete. Guys, just stop for a minute and just listen to the sound. You can hear the pork popping in the skillet. Just listen carefully. Pork is complete frying, So I'm just gonna remove it from the skillet and add it in a container, and I'm gonna set it aside until I'm ready for it. These are the seasoning I'm going to be using. I'm using 1 stack of scallion, half a bell pepper, a sweet pepper, half an onion, 4 cloves of garlic, and 1 scotch bonnet pepper. So I'm just going to go in and cut up my scallions, as you can see. I'm a lover of garlic, and that's why I'm adding garlic to my dish. Now you don't have to use garlic if you don't want to, but I'm using it. Next, I'm gonna go in and cut up the sweet pepper. I'm gonna cut these in some small pieces. Remember that I'm doing canned pork, so I don't need to cut big slice of sweet pepper. Just some small slice will do. Next, I'm gonna cut up my onion. Now I have half of an onion, so I'm just gonna slice these up in a reasonable slice. Here is the finished results. The seasons are ready to add to the skillet. Seasoning is ready, so I'm going to add it to the skillet, and I'm going to use my fork just to stir. I'm going to allow the seasoning to fry up for at least 5 minutes before I go in and add the pork. After allowing the seasoning to fry up for 5 minutes, I'm just gonna add the pork to it, and I'm gonna allow both of them to fry up for the next 10 minutes. After allowing the pork to fry up with the seasoning for 10 minutes, I'm gonna go in and add the ackee and then stir just to ensure that everything comes by. Guys, I'm not even finished cooking the ackee and corn pork as yet, but you can smell the aroma that's coming from it. It smells so nice. I can't wait. I'm starving right now. I just want to dig in. Next, I'm going to add some thyme. You know, the thyme gives it flavor. So I'm going to add some thyme to the ackee and corn pork. And then I'm going to allow it to simmer on a low flame. Next on the agenda, I'm gonna add some black pepper, but I won't be adding too much. I'm just adding some just for flavor. Guys, check this out. My corn pork and ackee is finished. Just check out the look. Guys, the aroma is getting to me right now. I can't hold it no longer. I just want to grab something to eat. But then, as I said before, you can follow my easy step recipe. It's easy to prepare, nothing to it. If you follow my guidelines, you won't go wrong. This looks so delicious. Ackee and corn pork with dumpling, banana and yam. I can't wait to dive into this right now. Guys, it's been a pleasure to share with you what I do in my kitchen. So please remember to like, share, as well as subscribe to my channel and leave a comment and hit that notification bell and let it remain on all. That way you'll be notified when there's a next video available. Thank you for watching.